Must be a slow day. No, it's not. We got Brian Urlacher, the former Bears linebacker. He's got a new book, The Middle School Rules of Brian Urlacher, available today at Walmart, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Look at that. Learn more. Go to middleschoolrules.com. How good were you in middle school, Brian?
Hey, thanks for having me on your slow day, first of all. I appreciate that, man. I was not that good in middle school. I was a little guy. I didn't grow until I got to high school, so I was athletic, but I was like one of those small, quick guys, not quite as athletic as I was when I got a little bit older.
I saw where Rivals.com, they rank all the high school players, that they're now scouting a couple of sixth graders.
What?
Yeah.
Well, let's just say I would not have shown up on their radar. If they were scouting me as a sixth grader, I would not have been on their radar, that's for sure.
Okay, but do you have a problem if we're looking at kids that young?
I just think it's a little young. I mean, I guess there were some kids when I played, they were from different schools out of town that were really good. So I guess you can sort of see. But when we got to high school, those kids weren't as good as they were back then because they didn't grow. Some kids mature faster than others, but they have to do their research these days and go back and find out how good these kids are because it's a big commitment. Some of these colleges now, so I guess I see why they do it.
But when can you tell somebody's actually going to be good at the next level? Like what age do you think you can go, okay, I got this guy figured out?
I think it varies with each player. You wouldn't have known with me until I was a senior in high school because my junior year I was okay. I was still skinny. I was like 180 pounds. In my senior, I was 6'2", 180, but I wasn't that good or athletic or fast. So I think it just varies with each kid. Some kids mature really fast, like you can tell their sophomore. I think Adrian Pearson, you could probably tell his 9th or 10th grade year he was going to be good in the NFL. So I think it just varies with each kid you look at.
When you hit Peterson, what was it like?
It was like hitting somebody else and tackling somebody. Adrian, he's just, once you get a hold of him, most of the time he goes down. It's just hard getting a hold of the guy. He's so fast, he makes you miss. Just getting a hold of him is the hard part.
I was mentioning about Wes Welker. He's 34, so he's, four years younger than you. And
Two, actually.
Oh, you're 36.
I'll be 37 in May. Thanks, though.
Okay. But you could still play. But I look at these guys, the better you are, the more susceptible you are to some kind of, brain damage there. And I just look at the number of times you get your bell rung. Remember it was a bell rung or you got a stinger?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are really just code words for some kind of concussion, aren't they?
Well, the stinger, I think, is different because that goes down your arm or your arm goes numb. And I don't think it has much to do with your head. Your neck might get twisted a little bit and send some stinging down your arm. I had a couple of those in college, and the concussion is completely different. That's all your head. You get up woozy, you get up dizzy, or you don't get up at all. You just lay there asleep. So there's differences. I think the stingers aren't quite as bad as the concussions. I don't think. I'm not a doctor, but I'm not sure that they're as bad.
How do you feel now at 36, going on 37?
Oh, I feel pretty good. I've still got some aches and pains. My lower back is stiff. My knee's a little sore. Neck gets stiff every once in a while. But, I feel better than I did when I played, that's for sure.
How many concussions in 13 years?
I had one big one in 03 or 04. We played Clinton Portis, and he hit me, and I went to sleep. I was asleep before I hit the ground. That's the only major one that I had. I may have had another one in 02. But, you get some, like you said, you get dinged at certain points in games. And by my admission, I don't think I had, but maybe 2 or 3.
Describe a ding.
Oh, well, you get up to, like you see, not stars, but for me, I saw these little black dots. Everywhere I looked, there were these little black dots.
Oh,
like
boy.
it was the sky. So there was a couple times I had some of those. But, I didn't have any memory loss. I didn't have any concussion symptoms. I knew right away that I had to go to the sideline and talk to those guys. Or they most of the time, Tim Bream, our trainer, would see it, and he'd be like, "What'd you do? Come here, talk to me." Any little thing that happened, so he knew right away when something was going on with me.
Did you ever shake off the trainer?
I tried to dodge him every time I could because in my opinion, when I played, if I couldn't make it worse, I wanted to be on the football field. That was my take on it. I'd always ask our trainers, pull muscles, those are a different story, because it's hard to move. But if there's something injured on me, and I said, can I make it worse? If they said no, I would keep playing. If they said yes, I would stop playing.
He's Brian Urlacher, the former Bears linebacker. He's written a book, The Middle School Rules. How important is it to get your jersey retired by the Bears?
You know what? I don't think that's going to happen. It's not important to me because of there's so many jerseys retired by the Bears. We have no numbers left. If we retire any more numbers, we're not going to have any guys in the field. They're going to be wearing the same numbers.
All of the 50s are retired, I think.
They're gone. They brought Singletary out a couple of years ago because they had no numbers for the guys to wear. So, and I think it's kind of funny because we've had so many good players in our history of the Bears that there's just so many retired that it wouldn't hurt my feelings if we didn't do it because it's just not possible. There's too many guys retired.
I can't help but ask if you've written a book called The Middle School Rules of Brian Urlacher about letting kids play football in middle school. At what point, should you let kids play tackle football?
Well, my son plays flag football right now, and I'm going to let him do that as long as he wants to. When he wants to play tackle, I'll let him play tackle. I think now with the rules and the way the coaches are, prepped to watch these kids and practice and stuff, that there should be more guidelines on what they do. And if he wants to play, he's going to play. Football was great to me. I love it. It's a great game. He loves it. There's no reason that I wouldn't let him play. I understand injuries are part of the game, but that's always been the reason the thing with football. Not just concussions, but other injuries as well. That's never going to change.
Why write a book? Who are you trying to hit?
Yeah. First of all, I didn't write it. Sean wrote it. Sean came to me a couple of years ago, about 6-8 months ago, was like, hey, man, I got an idea for a kid's book. Would you be interested in telling your story when you were in middle school, a little bit younger? I said, sure. So we sat down. Sean wrote a bunch of stuff down and came up with the book. And I think it turned out great. It wasn't really my idea, but we worked it out together. And I'm excited with the way the book turned out, actually.
I guess the inevitable Jay Cutler question should at what point did the at what point did, I waited almost 8 minutes here, Brian.
Thank you. Yeah, you're a good man.
All right. At what point do the Bears move on? Should they move on from Jay?
I have no idea, Dan. I know they have to make a decision pretty quick. Someone was saying on the radio the other day or news or something that they have to make a decision by March something, or they owe him $15 or $25 million. So. The new regime has to make a decision pretty quick, I guess. Less than a month.
Can they go to the Super Bowl with Cutler?
Could they? Yes. Sure.
Will they?
No, but they could.
But they won't.
I don't think they will, but you asked me if they could.
Yeah.
You didn't say will they. You said could they.
Okay. Well, I guess there is the possibility.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I mean, in fairness to Cutler, there's a lot going wrong with the Bears. It's not just Cutler. I mean, the defense, which is what you guys have prided yourself in for decades, was pretty sad.
Well, we just struggled the last couple of years. Even at the end of my career, we weren't as good as we thought we should have been. So it's definitely not just Jay. Jay's a talented guy. He makes a lot of great throws. But to his defense as well, they didn't run the ball as much last year as they did the year before. But you got a great running back like Matt Forte. I would think you want to give him the ball as much as you can. And they did throw him the football. He had 100-something catches. That was pretty cool. But you got to give him the ball and kind of protect your quarterback, especially they had some injuries up front as well. So it's not all on Jay, that's for sure. How
many times did you with your 22 interceptions? I don't know how many fumble recoveries. Did you feel like the football was deflated a little bit?
I never felt that. I was just happy to get the ball and try not to lose it. That I really didn't pay attention to how much air the football had in it. But I would think, as a player who plays catch every day in practice and screws around a lot with footballs in practice, that you would know right away when a ball. I've touched a deflated or a less inflated ball in practice, and you know right away when it's not what it's supposed to be. Even as a defensive player who doesn't have ball handling skills.
Do you care if the ball is deflated?
Do I care when I play?
Yeah.
No, it didn't matter to me. You still had to throw it and catch it and hold on to it. I don't know if it made it easier or any harder or not, but I know because balls are so firm. I heard Aaron Rodgers say he likes the ball a little bit more inflated because he can get it back on it. I guess he must have hands, but when the ball is a little bit deflated, you can grab onto it a little bit better for a guy of us with normal hands.
Drew Bledsoe was here a couple of weeks ago. He said you had one of the more incredible arms that he's ever seen.
Oh, man, that was nice. Really? He said that?
Yeah.
We played Kurt Warner's football tournament, and I appreciate him saying that. His team beat the crap out of my team twice, but, I do take pride in having a pretty good arm.
At any point in your career, could you have been the quarterback for the Bears?
For the Bears? Well, in 6th and 7th grade, I was a backup. So that's how good I was.
Okay.
I never got past the backup role beyond that. So maybe like situational for the Bears. Maybe you take a knee, like shotgun take a knee or shotgun hand the ball off something like that. Because I'd have a hard time getting the snap. I think those center snaps the ball hard.
What about what about a wildcat with you?
Oh, that'd be good, but I just don't run the ball very well. I don't really have a lot of moves. I can maybe throw some fakes or give the ball to somebody, but I'm not a real juke guy and run fast guy.
Well, you're faster than Cutler, aren't you?
Maybe I used to be. I don't know if I am now. Maybe at one point in my career I was. But it was nice of Drew to say I had a good arm, because I feel like I have a pretty good arm, too. I don't really get my due when I play catch with these guys, but it sounds like Drew gave me some – I appreciate that, some props.
Well, good luck with the book, and thanks for joining us on a slow day,
Dan.
Brian.
Hey, I got to say one thing. I saw Grown Ups, too, with my kids there today. You were great in that movie, by the way. You were great climbing that rope, man.
Thanks.
See you later, bro.
Thank you, Brian. Brian Urlacher. The middle school rules of Brian Urlacher.